Hello and welcome to the Wavy Tunnel Pro dashboard session, swing trade setups for the week of July 6, 2026. The disclaimer is very important to read. Remember to practice with a demo or a paper trading account with any new concept or strategy until you really get to know and understand the risk and reward potential. If you do not have the dashboard yet, you can go to wavytunnelpro.com/dashboard. Here is the QR code. There is a walkthrough video on that. The beauty of the dashboard is that we're scanning almost 5,000 markets for Wavy Tunnel Pro trade setups. The weekly routine is to create your dynamic watch list, and your dynamic watch list can be for the breakout 4, longs, shorts, daily, weekly, whatever you want. And we also have the fill the gap trade. We have the price to wave trade. So you can set up a dynamic watch list for all of the trade setups. We have the breakout 3 trades by selecting your scan criteria. And then weekly, you can check your updated, in this case, breakout 4 watch list, and check the symbols one at a time and narrow it down to a hot list, which I've done. You can write notes on the symbols that show potential so that you can follow them on a daily basis and take your trades based on your notes once you reach certain price levels. And then create the trade plan for a handful of symbols. So buying the stock, buying the call, selling the put, buying the vertical, these are all bullish expressions of the move. The reverse would be bearish expressions. Okay? Buying the put, selling the call, selling the vertical. So these are bullish expressions, and then you execute the trade. The Wavy Tunnel Pro setups are based on this market map, where along here, these would be considered the breakout 3 trades. Along the wave 3, along the wave 5, this is where the breakout 3 trades would show up. At the end of the trend, you have your price to wave and then fill the gap. The fill the gap takes you down here. And then this is where the breakout 4 trade is initiated. So this is what we're going to be focusing on today. We're going to still focus on the breakout 4 trades. Only I'd like to take a look at the weekly charts with you. So let's go to the dashboard scanner and let us get started. I have already set up a list for July 6th swing trades, and I will share this list with you. So those of you who have the dashboard scanner will get this list. But what I want to, and there are some longs and some shorts on there. We'll get to it in a minute, but I wanted to go through the weekly, some of the weekly charts to see if there are any opportunities. And I don't think we're going to have time to go through all of these because there are 57 on this list. And I'll show you how I set up this. I didn't add it as a dynamic watch list yet, but I'll show you what I did to create this list. Price is greater than $25. It's optionable. I've hidden the volume, but the volume is greater than 500,000. For the trend, the weekly trend, it's either up or sideways. And for the daily trend, it's either down or sideways. And then, just for illustration purposes, for the breakout 4 weekly, I selected the buy ready, the buy signal, and less than 20, which means that these signals may have occurred 20 candles ago. But I just want to show you for illustration purposes, what 20 candles ago would look like and how it differs from stock to stock. And if we do like something that is setting up, I will put it on the watch list. So let's just start from the top. I'm going to click on the first symbol. Okay. And on the top, I have the weekly. On the bottom, I have the daily. So I want you to get the idea of, and I'm going to also put this on my trading view so I can see where the price is currently and what happened overnight. Okay. The price is currently at 354. So the price has retraced a little bit. Okay, it has retraced a little bit. But let's look at the weekly and see how the buy ready and the buy signal came about. When the arrow is up, this indicates buy signal. When it is a diamond, it indicates buy ready. Buy ready means that the diamond, the gray semaphore has printed. Buy signal with the up arrow means that price has closed above the filter, the 12 EMA filter. So in this case, price closed above the EMA filter 19 candles ago. But it has consolidated sideways for a very long time before finally breaking out, a very long time. So we had a gray, and then we had a blue semaphore and a lower blue semaphore. This is sideways price action. We never made a new low, but we haven't accelerated higher. And you can see what the equivalent is on the daily chart is a purple semaphore. And in this case, the wave is below the tunnel. I'll blow it up for you. The wave is below the tunnel because we're in a downtrend. We're in a downtrend on the daily. So there we have some distribution, some consolidation here. Lots of buying, lots of selling, lots of buying, lots of selling. And then finally we break out above the tunnel, and the breakout one trade on the daily will be when the wave crosses back above the tunnel, and then the daily will be in sync with the weekly chart. The daily will be in an uptrend with the weekly. And why do I say that the weekly is in an uptrend? Because the wave is above the tunnel. Let me open this up for you. Oops. I see. I see. Interesting. That's another feature that I wasn't aware of. If I want to hide some of the oscillators, I click this little box and it hides this. It gives why don't we do that? It lets you just see the price. But if I want to open it up like this, I can open it up like that. So when the wave is above the tunnel, we're in an uptrend. And we've been in a very long and steady uptrend. Very, very long and steady uptrend. As you can see, this is going back to 2016 even and further. And when we have corrections down to below the tunnel or the tunnel. We have a correction down to, in this case, almost the tunnel. And here we have a correction down to below the tunnel. But never does the wave cross down below the tunnel. Sometimes the wave goes in the tunnel as it is right now. And it's in the tunnel right now. So if the wave starts to close below the tunnel completely, then this trade is really invalidated because the potential exists for us to trade lower. As long as the wave stays above or in the tunnel on the weekly time frame, it's okay. But we have had a very, very extended move higher in this stock. So I just wanted to show you that. I'm just going to leave it because it's a very high price stock. I'm not going to put it on the watch list right now. But and also I just wanted to show you how price can consolidate for a long time and then move up. Let's look at another one and see how this appears. Same thing. Strong consolidation for 19 candles. We didn't make a new price low, but we traded sideways a little bit, and we're breaking out now. Let me put this on my trading view for the live market to see where we are. Okay, we're trading at 37.63, so we're trading higher. So this did break out. 19 candles later, it broke out. Let me just show you something here. I'm going to open up the daily chart. And we have the purple semaphore here. So this was the initiation of the weekly breakout 4 trade right here. But what I don't, looking at this daily, I'm seeing that we have a peak in the awesome oscillator. So unless this wave starts to cross back above the tunnel and move higher, we could potentially start to trade down again and make a new low and get that divergence. I mean, I really do like to see divergence. We don't always get divergence, but it would be nice to see divergence on the daily chart. Divergence would mean that if we have a peak in the oscillator over here, actually, okay, this is interesting. We actually do have, if we go back to here, we do have divergence. Here we made a low, and then we made a lower low over here. We do have divergence. That's interesting. Okay, we have divergence. All right, all right. So it's important to look for divergence. And when this wave starts to cross back above the tunnel, that's a positive sign. So we're really at the crossroads right now, because this technically is a breakout for sell. And until we take out this price high, we could potentially trade down. So we're right in no man's land here. We do have divergence, so it is quite possible that this will continue to move higher and that this weekly signal is a good one. However, it's 19 candles in, so I just wanted to show you that. And also, I have the earnings date here, so make sure you look at the earnings date before you take any positions. Make sure you're not taking a position into earnings. Okay, very important. We're not going through that right now. Okay, let's go to this one. Ferrari. And also 19 candles ago. 19 candles ago. And with this, on the weekly, the wave it's in the tunnel. So we have to, yeah. Like this is an area, both on the weekly and on the daily, where we would say, we have just done a price to wave, fill the gap trade on the daily. And here is the noble semaphore. If we don't start to take out this high and the wave doesn't start to move above the tunnel, this could be a turning point for another move down. We don't know at this point. But if you took the trade back here and you did, let's say, I mean, it was 19, if you did an option, let's say you sold a put, you did a vertical spread, you would have made money because we didn't make a new low. But is this price going to continue to trade higher? I'm not sure. Like we are at the crossroads, as I like to say. Let me see what the price did today. I'm just putting this on my other screen just to see. Yeah, okay. So it's interesting. Hold on a second. What is going on? Something's not right. Let me see where this price, 384. Something's not right here. What am I missing? Oh, okay. Hang on a second. I have just a second. Okay, I was looking at the wrong symbol. All right. So that's all I want to say about this. Let's just keep going. And then we're going to move down to some of the ones that have just recently. The progressive PGR. PGR. Okay, we're currently trading just a little bit lower than we closed on Friday. But this looks very nice. This looks pretty nice. It looks like on the weekly, on the daily, it looks like the wave is going to be crossing up above the tunnel. This doesn't look bad. This looks pretty nice. Okay, let's look at some of these weekly stocks that are less than 10. Okay, so we're going to move right now to the Sherman-Williams Company, SHW, and it's less than 10. In this case, it's less than 10, but it didn't trade sideways. It just traded up very quickly. And that's what this system cannot tell us. It cannot tell us if it's going to trade sideways or if it's going to trade up very quickly. Let me see what price did today. Okay. It's down a little bit. It's down a little bit. Okay. But this doesn't look bad. It's just a very expensive stock. Let's try to find a slightly less expensive stock. Let's go to KBH, $61. And what I also like to look at is what the year-to-date percent return is. Like I just like to look at that. So it's up 8%, and it was up almost 1% on Friday. And this is KBH. Let's see. The other thing that I like to look at is the sector. I don't have enough real estate on this side. Let me put the sector on and see if we still see everything. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the breakout 4 daily so I can just see the breakout 4 weekly. So here you see all of the wavy tunnel trades, PW, fill the gap, breakout 4, breakout 3. I'm just going to uncheck breakout 4 daily so I can see the weekly here and also see the sector. And now let me just look at KBH to see where the current price is. Where is the current price? 59.77. Okay, so it's down a little bit. It's down a little bit. All right. Let me open up this weekly and let's take a closer look at it. Yeah. So this is interesting. We have been in an uptrend for quite a while. Okay. But when we had this correction over here, and this would have been a breakout 4 trade back in 2018, right here, the wave didn't quite go below the tunnel, so this was a valid breakout 4 trade. And then this, of course, was COVID, March 2020, where everything sold off and then came back again. The wave did not come below the tunnel at that time. The wave did come below the tunnel here when we had the major sell-off in 2022. So that's when we did. So in that instance, even though this was the breakout 4 trade, at that time I wouldn't have been interested, I suppose. Yeah, because the wave came down below the tunnel. Now we're in the same situation, it looks like. The wave is not quite below the tunnel, but it could potentially go below the tunnel. We're still in the tunnel, and we did do a nice three-wave move down. So it could turn out all right. It could turn out all right. Let's look at the daily chart. Yeah, it could turn out just fine. We have a very strong, awesome oscillator here, which is good. And it looks like we're seeing some kind of consolidation. We will see some kind of consolidation very often. Once price goes above the tunnel in a PW fill the gap trade, we do come back to the intersection of the wave and the tunnel right down here. And this very often is an ideal place for entry at this level, around the 55 mark. And that will also give a chance for the awesome oscillator to come back to neutral, the zero line. It's very, very extended, which is positive. It's positive when you're thinking about buying. So with this, I'm going to put this on the watch list. I'm going to add it to the watch list, and it joined the watch list. Let's look at the next one. This Toast, a technology company, down 19% for the year. Let's have a look at that. I'm just opening up the weekly chart. Let's see where the, okay. Yeah, it's a relatively new issue. So the beginning of the year occurred over here. So you can see that we're down from the beginning of the year. We're down. Yeah. And the wave is just about to cross down below the tunnel. So this I would hold off on, because also on this daily, we don't see any signs yet of price coming above the tunnel. That's what you really want to see. You want to see the wave almost ready to cross above the tunnel, and we're not. We're in a downtrend right now on the daily. We have done a PW fill the gap trade. At this point, we just don't know where it's going to go. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is also down for the year, an industrial. Same here on this daily. We haven't really started to go above the tunnel. Let me see where price is trading on the current day. CTAS. I'm just looking at okay. Yeah, so it's down a little bit. 177-ish. Yeah. 178, 77, 78. Yeah. So I'll just hold off on this one. Let's look at the next one. And if you have any questions, please type it in the chat so I can address the questions as we go. So this is also an interesting one that I would hold off on. I'm not going to put it on the watch list. The weekly looks like the wave is crossing down below the tunnel, and the daily certainly isn't showing any signs yet of crossing back above the tunnel. So it needs some more watching. Let's go to the next page and notice the difference here. These are all up arrows. So that means, again, that price has closed above the filter. And that's typically what our confirmation is for a buy. but we do want to factor in some other, put in some other factors. Okay, Roblox. This is down 32% for the year. All right. We have had another thing that I can mention is this move down has been rather, it looks less corrective and more impulsive, this move down on the weekly chart. When I say it looks less corrective, I like to see a nice ABC. This does look like an ABC. However, I, I I prefer to see more of an A and then a B and then a C. This looks like a straight move down. So I would hold off on this one. And the wave is crossing down below the tunnel. Okay, so this is more of a less of a straight move down and more of a correction down. This is what I'm talking about, the personality. So I like to see some consolidation on the way down, not a straight impulsive move. And that's the personality of this move right here. This actually doesn't look so bad. Let me open up the daily. This does not look so bad. Yeah. This doesn't look so bad. We haven't yet crossed the tunnel. However, the wave and the filter are pointing up. Let's just have a look at the weekly. Okay. Yeah, pretty choppy, but this isn't so bad. I'm going to put this on the watch list. We are still down for the year on this one, but it might be coming out of its slumber. I'm not sure. Let's just stick this to the watch list. Okay, next is a healthcare company. This is down 28% year to date. And sometimes that's okay. I mean, maybe it's time for it to wake up. And come out of its slumber and hibernation. All right. Prior to this impulsive move higher, we did trade pretty well in a downtrend, but sideways where the wave was in the tunnel. So we don't have a long history of being in an uptrend. This one doesn't. It looks more choppy and with moves higher. And then here, let me just stick these oscillators back on. With moves higher and then we retrace. I mean, this is not the ideal uptrend to look for. Okay, let's see what the, yeah, it doesn't look so great. Let me see what the weekly daily looks like. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely want to see the waves start to move up above the tunnel on this one. This is not an ideal setup. Let's look at the next one. No, the wave is crossing down below the tunnel, as you can see on the weekly. Let's look at the next one. Okay, MasterCard. MasterCard. Now, this is a nice uptrend. MasterCard is a very nice uptrend. This might be okay, actually. I'm gonna put this on the watch list. Let's see where MasterCard is trading today. So I hope you're beginning to see the setups that look better than others. even though MasterCard is an expensive stock, and so an options trade, it has to be done through the options market. Yeah. Yeah. So MasterCard is down a bit. We're trading down. We're trading at 530. So we're down a bit. Okay. It's no surprise because we had a huge move up and we're having a correction. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Yeah, it's no surprise that we're having a bit of a correction. We're only down at this level right now. But I like this. I like the way this looks. I'm going to put this on the watch list. Earnings are coming out July 30th for this one. Let's just look at a few more, and then we're going to go to the watch list itself. Yeah, this doesn't look so bad. We had a nice three-wave move down, so it wasn't one straight impulsive move down. Let me look up the current price action. Yeah, 214. So it's down a little bit here. Down a little bit. The other thing that you can take note of on the weekly chart, since we're looking at the weekly setups, is you want to look at the candlesticks. So right here, when we got the noble semaphore, we did have an engulfing pattern, which is a reversal pattern, which is good. And then price went above the filter. It didn't close above the filter. It came back down, and then it finally closed above the filter, but traded sideways until now we're edging up. We're edging up higher, and we have a tail in the opposite direction, and we have a strong bodied candle moving up. So that's consolidation behavior. Yeah, I like this one. I'm going to put it on the scanner, on the watch list. Okay. All right. Let's just look at a few more. And we're going to go quickly through these. I'm not happy with this because the wave is really crossing down below the tunnel. It's almost down below the tunnel. I would normally like to look at how long the uptrend has been, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep moving, just like we did before. This is not bad. Let me look at this. Let me open this up. Yeah, so this is not bad. We've maintained a nice strong uptrend with some consolidation. So not bad, not bad. I'm going to put this on the watch list. Okay, let's just look at a few more. No, I'm not interested in this. The wave is crossing down below the tunnel. Let's look at the next one. Yeah, this could be on the watch list. The wave seems to be turning sideways. I'll put this on the watch list. And then this one is down 23% for the year. we'll leave this alone. Let's look at this next one. No, let's just leave it. Let's go to the watch list and okay, I have to. Okay. On this watch list, we have 34 symbols. I want to show you the shorts. Just going to uncheck the sector for a moment so I can see the breakout 4 daily as well and the weekly. Okay. Now the shorts are going to be in red. These are the shorts in red. So let's just look to see what a short is, what a short looks like. And I'm going to put the daily on top and the weekly on the bottom, since that is a daily short. So let's just switch it around. Okay. This is what a short looks like, where you're coming from the royal semaphore and you're coming up to the tunnel. Why don't we start? Let's just have a look at the weekly to see how this has been performing. Okay. This was in an uptrend for a fairly long time. I mean, since 2021. You can see once the wave crosses the tunnel, that's what I consider an uptrend. And we came down to the tunnel, we made a new high, and we had an extensive move lower on the weekly. Like this is the kind of trade where it might have been a breakout 4 trade right over here, and then it just continued on down. And now the question is, can it recuperate, or is this going to continue on down? So this is showing up as a short trade. And we can see that on the daily, where we've had an extended move down and then a move back up to the tunnel. This is where price usually pauses. And if we are going to continue on up and erase this breakout 4 potential for a short, then the wave will cross above the tunnel. Let's put the indicators on. Okay. Yeah. And before taking a short, you definitely want to make sure that we don't have divergence, and we don't have divergence here. We have a very strong peak here. So there is the potential for it to trade lower. That's what a short looks like. Let's look at another short. Yeah. So the shorts are picking up the noble semaphores at the tunnel. That's what the shorts are picking up. Okay, you can see that. Let me, okay. Okay, I want to have a look at this one. Upstart. This was one that might have potential to trade lower. Let's look. Let me see where price is trading currently. We have a look. Okay. Yeah, we're currently trading a little bit lower than we are now. Let's just open this up. This is the, the daily. I'm looking at the awesome oscillator first. I want to see if we have made a new low. Okay, these are pretty well at the same levels, aren't they? Aren't they? It would really be nice to see that this has made a okay, well, it did make a lower low than this point here. Mm, yeah, they're more or less the same. Yeah. So we have to see, this has the potential to come down. Let's look at the weekly. Okay. So this was one of the wild rides up to the 400 area, and now it's just, we had a purple semaphore, purple, purple. Yeah, it's quite possible that we do trade down. This is not one that I would want to buy. Okay, so if I wouldn't want to buy it, the question is, would I want to sell it? I don't know. It's kind of after being at 400 and now being down at 34, it's kind of difficult to sell it as well. But it looks horrible. Like this just looks kind of bearish. It looks bearish. Okay. All right. Um, I'll show you MasterCard. We put this on the watch list. Okay. But no, look at this. It has a breakout for daily short and a breakout for weekly long. Let's look at this again. See, the weekly is a long because we have made a nice pullback below the tunnel. And this was a really, really strong uptrend. And I mentioned that I like the way this stock is looking. But when you look at the daily, you have to understand these nuances. It's showing up as a breakout for short because we got the noble semaphore up here, and there are other calculations that go into it, of course. And I said that when we were looking at MasterCard or anything else, what you want to see is you want to see price coming down to the intersection between the wave and the tunnel, especially if you believe the breakout 4 on the weekly, because it wasn't such a substantial uptrend, that you wouldn't want to go short on this breakout 4 sell. Because what happens after you get the noble semaphore, we could come down and then we could start to trade back up again, and the wave would go cross back above the tunnel. And that's what typically happens. We first get this gray semaphore for the breakout 4 short. That doesn't mean that you need to sell it. What it means is that maybe we have seen a stopping point at the moment, and we might see a correction before the rally resumes. And I'm trusting the weekly time frame more than I trusting the daily time frame, because the weekly time frame is showing a very substantial long uptrend, very substantial. So there are 34 stocks on the 7-6 swing trades. It says daily time frame, but I'm going to change that to weekly and daily because and we have some longs and shorts here. So if I just click on the longs, I'm just filtering now for longs. These are all of the longs, and these are all of the shorts. And we have a few weeklies here. Okay, a few weeklies here. Few weekly longs. Here they are. Now you also see 69 candles up for the weeklies down here, but these are the most recent weekly longs up here. So I'm going to share this with you right now. I am going to share this watch list. So have a look and go through these stocks on your own and see how you want to illustrate. If you'd like to share your trades, by all means, share them in the Discord channel. I've been sharing my trades there, and so you feel free to share the trades in the Discord channel. So that concludes this session. Are there any questions? Anything you would like us to take a look at? If not, then thanks for joining and have a great trading week. And I'll be on Discord if you want to contact me there.